I don't have the time to meditate. You ain't got the time to not meditate. You gonna die before we know it. We're gone. And whether it's a few minutes, a few years, a few decades, a few centuries, we're only in this body for a handful of minutes, hours, days, years, anyway. So who could say I don't have the time to meditate? Because the time you would take to meditate will make the rest of your life so much more efficient that you don't have the time to not meditate. Anyway, here's 3 practical meditations you can start to get into that's going to make meditation seem hopefully a little less daunting and overwhelming and scary, because usually when we talk about meditating, we think just sit there and empty your mind. Good frickin' luck. It ain't going to happen. You ain't going to empty the mind. The mind doesn't empty. It's active by nature. You got to fill the mind with something good, something worth paying attention and meditating on. All day, every day, we're meditating on various types of things. If we look at what you're spending your time contemplating and the stories you're going over, and the fantasies that you're going over, and the thoughts that you're going over, you're meditating on them. You're strengthening the stimuli to response, the way your mind works around those ideas to ingrain those thoughts, feelings, emotions, experiences deeper into the mind. You already have practiced meditating. We just need to figure out what to be meditating on. Because if we look in your life, we already find a bunch of things you're meditating on that are not necessarily helpful or healthy. So when it comes to practical meditation, there's 3 steps I'm going to integrate here. The first step is getting in touch with your breath. You got to breathe whether you like it or not. I hate to break it to you. And if you can't learn how to breathe good, breathe efficiently, your physiology is going to be affected negatively or poorly. So the first step is starting to get in touch with the breath. We have different other videos that we teach aspects of breath work, and this doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just start getting the inhales through the nose, get some sighs out through the mouth. And let each breath be a little bit deeper than the one before. So the first step we always get into is some breath work, because you're forcing your physiology to change. If you try to control the mind with the mind, it's very challenging, whereas better to try to control the mind with the body and with your physiology and with things that are in your control, because this way you can actually grab the mind, because just by forcing your attention to your breath, thinking of the inhalations through the nose, exhalations through the mouth, you can feel the temperature of the air as it goes in through the nose, temperature as it goes out through the mouth, start to elongate the breaths and start to count, see how many inhale seconds for an inhale, count how many seconds for an exhale. And like this, you start to bring your attention. Not only are you going to feel more calm, grounded, and centered, but you're going to start to gain a grasp for the mind. The second step is to get a little bit more into the body, and that is to not only breathe into the body and feel the expansion through your stomach, through your ribs, through your chest, and filling up your full lung capacity, and as you exhale, the opposite, you squeeze everything empty, but also notice in your body as you breathe in, you might feel some tension. As you exhale, release that full tension in the body. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your brow. As you inhale, elongate the spine. Notice that the inflation of the lungs just naturally makes everything longer. Then as you exhale, just relax anything that does not need to be tensed. Relax those eyebrows, relax those hips and those knees. Just release everything as you continue inhaling and exhaling. So the first step always is get in touch with your breath, start to focus on the inhalations and the exhalations, make them longer, pay attention to them, and then you can get into the body, releasing anything that does not need to be there. And you can focus on different areas of the body. As you inhale, you can breathe the attention to your right foot, and as you exhale, you release tension to the right foot. As you inhale, you bring it to the right knee, exhale, release it from the right knee, and then the hip, and then you switch legs. And like this, you can focus on different areas of the body that you bring your attention to, and as you exhale, you release and relieve all tension in that area. And you do this a few times, and then you get into the third step, which is mantra meditation. If you're not familiar with mantra meditation, go back. We have different videos on that. In simple, you're putting your attention on mantras. Manasa trayate in Sanskrit means to free the mind. There's sound vibrations that free the mind, that open up your mental capacity and evoke not only gratitude towards others in a mood of service, but also to divinity. And these are mantras that we focus your full time and attention on sacred sound syllables, which will capture the mind and not only relieve stress and anxiety, but also connect you with your highest self, the dormant supreme consciousness within. Big breaths in through the nose, big sighs out through the mouth, release it in the body. And then in a moment here, I'm going to teach you a mantra you can chant along with me. This is quick and easy. You can just chant this a few times, and we'll make sure that it's available for you to read below here. And that mantra, keep breathing. That mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And I'll say it a couple of times. You can start to kick in gear with me and chanting it with me a few times. The mantra means Om Namo, I offer my respects to divinity, Bhagavate Vasudevaya, who is the possessor of all opulences available and who resides within the hearts of all living entities. So I offer my respects to divinity, who is the possessor of all opulences and who is situated in the hearts of all living entities. This is a mantra of gratitude to divinity. So as you inhale, you sigh it out through the mouth. And then what you'll do is you'll inhale through the nose big, and on the exhale, you chant the mantra. Here's what it sounds like. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Inhale through the nose. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Big breath in. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hear every syllable. Hear every syllable. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. One more deep breath in and a big sigh out the mouth. I know you feel something. This is available at all times. It only takes a minute, if that. You could do it as long as you'd like, but just start with getting in touch with the breath. Then get into the body, expanding the body, releasing everything that doesn't need to be there, and then get into the mantra where you're connecting your mind with divinity, which is ultimately what's going to provide you a deep sense of happiness, what to speak of gratitude, and you cannot be unhappy and grateful at the same time. It inevitably forces a sense of contentment and peacefulness in your life. Get to meditating. You don't have to stop here, but start here at the very least, and you can keep building and keep building and keep building up this monk mindset.